Next, our men's collegiate second varsity 8. Just taken off the line there, we are seeing in lane 1, Cal, lane 2, Gonzaga, lane 3, University of California, San Diego, lane 4, UCLA, lane 5, Purdue, lane 6, University of San Diego. All crews are off, race is underway. Early leaders look to be Gonzaga and Cal, sending themselves off the front with UC San Diego and UCLA in those 3-4 positions.
Yeah, and coming out of the heats yesterday, California really had quite a significant lead in terms of overall time over the rest of the crews. So we'll look to them for that lead position, and they are in lane 1. This is the California fourth varsity boat. So coming out here to represent their team as the top boat here at the San Diego Crew Classic. And indeed, they are holding on to the early win or early lead here with about a 5-seat lead over lane 2, Gonzaga. Gonzaga looking at a 5-seat lead over UC San Diego. And then right next to them, it's going to be pretty close here between UCLA and Purdue for that 4th or 5th place spot. And then back in 6, it will be University of San Diego, the Toreros in lane 6.
We see the Toreros there starting to drift off the back as Purdue pushes ahead, a little bit ahead of UCLA for Purdue, maybe a seat. Up from there, we see UC San Diego sitting in that 3rd position to Gonzaga. Ahead of them, Cal sitting in that 1 position, but a pretty even spread now between 1, 2, and 3 in those boats. They're coming through the middle of the course. Cal not looking like they have enough space to be comfortable. Gonzaga still holding tight to Cal, offering plenty of challenge there, and UC San Diego trying to tie themselves to Gonzaga as they cross the 1,000-meter mark. That's the halfway point of their race. Now's the time to dig. And so, as you watch the screen, if you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching here from the shore on the screen, you'll be able to see if these athletes choose to make a move when those boats go. Again, this being a great place to start watching because that 1,000-meter mark is an opportunity to send a message to the other boats. If you have something that you want to make a move on, here's where you may see that happen. 1,300 being a bit of a notorious location for moves here in this race. So that 1,300-meter mark, just as you pass that sandbar to get to that second bridge, is where you may see some things start to happen. It still looks like we've got 1, 2, 3, Cal, Gonzaga, UC San Diego. A little bit tough to tell, of course, until we get that overhead perspective. There we go. We see that racing as I say that. It still looks like we've got that same even spread. Cal, Gonzaga, UC San Diego. Looks like University of San Diego may have moved up slightly in that outside lane. It looks pretty tight between UCLA, Purdue, and University of San Diego for that 4th position right now.
Yeah, that UC San Diego boat, and their whole team really quite young with only 1 senior amongst the whole squad. We've got 12 juniors, 15 sophomores, and 7 freshmen filling out their team. So a lot to look forward to for the rest of this season and for future years. So really exciting time for them. They have already raced Gonzaga earlier this season. Gonzaga did come up on top in this 2v8. So looking at a replay of that as UC San Diego tries to better themselves against Gonzaga, see if they can maybe take back a little bit of time away from the last time they raced them. But up front, California against the shoreline, looking to have an open water edge over both Gonzaga and UCSD. Back behind them, still pretty tight here between UCLA and University of San Diego, with Purdue right there in the mix as well.
And always right about here, we get that nice camera pan where we start to see the true look between these boats. And it looks like UCSD's lost a little ground to Gonzaga. Gonzaga also lost a little ground to Cal. Cal is starting to push out front. Gonzaga trying to hold on, but it appears as if Cal is going to start to open up a little bit of water between them as they move past the tents here. You know that that's where they like to make their moves. Gonzaga just slightly back from that. Now UCSD missing some water between them and Gonzaga. We'll see these boats as they pass through the screen, and that may give us a perspective on our lanes 4, 5, and 6 and where they are standing right now. The first boat that we see come across the line appears to be UCLA, followed by University of San Diego, and then Purdue in that final sixth position right now. These boats storming through to the finish. We're seeing them now right in front of our eyes here at the finish line. It looks like Cal holding that lead still.
Cal trying to break free and clear here of Gonzaga, but I think there's still a little bit of overlap between those two boats. But California first across the line, just behind them by a length. It will be Gonzaga for that second place spot, and a little bit of open water back will be UC San Diego for third. Here comes UCLA, the Bruins at fourth, followed by University of San Diego, and then Purdue.